How are you? Good, good. I was just thinking to myself, don't you just hate it when people say no when you ask for something? It's so frustrating, isn't it? More often than not though, I'm pretty sure that if your mum and dad, or granny and grand or whoever, said no to you when you ask for something, it's probably for your safety or there's a strong reason for it. I know a story about a guy in the Bible though, and he said no a lot. But it wasn't because he cared for the people. He was mean. So mean in fact that God said, you're being mean to my people and you need to let them go. So he sent somebody to go and set them free. Now I could just sit here baffling, or I could read the story to you. What do you think? Yeah, probably read the story, eh? Okay. This is about a man called Moses. You might have heard of him before. And this is when he had to go to Egypt to tell the Pharaoh to let God's people go. They were scared. Oh, they were nervous. But they knew that it was the right thing to do. And they also knew that God was with them. They stood before the king of Egypt and said, God wants you to let his people go. No, said the king. They're my slaves. They do what I tell them. They build and bake and work with nothing for nothing. This wasn't what Moses really wanted to hear at all. It was awful. Jings, now he had to tell the king something the king didn't want to hear. If you don't let God's people go, then God will send plagues on Egypt. But the king was still stubborn and said, no! So here they came. The river turned to blood. The houses swarmed with frogs. The dust turned into gnats. Did the king change his mind? No. Flies then covered the land. The animals all died, and ugly sores appeared on everyone. Surely now the king would give way. No. The skies opened, hail threw down onto the land, locusts ate up all the crops, and darkness fell for 3 whole days. Surely that would have changed the Pharaoh's minds, and he said, no. The last one caused a tsunami of grief, a big tidal wave of grief to the whole land, as the firstborn son of every Egyptian family, from the king to the poorest man, was killed by an angel of death. Did he let his people go? Yes. So quickly they packed and grabbed what they could, and quickly they followed Moses. But just as quickly the king changed his mind, and he ordered his armies to stop the Israelites. God's people, the Israelites, looked behind them. There was the Egyptian army on the horizon. Thousands of them, thousands and thousands of them, all racing towards them. And right in front of them was nothing but the Red Sea. So they couldn't go back, they couldn't go around it. So God said, a little bit like the bear hunt, you'll have to go through it. And the seas parted and they began to walk through. And as soon as the last Israelite was across, the waters came tumbling down and took with them the Egyptian army that had followed. God's people finally had made it. They were free at last. So sometimes when you ask for something and you get told no, that person saying no to you might not be being horrible, but is trying to be kind to you. Sort of like saying, no sweets before tea, because then you won't eat your tea, and you need your vegetables more than you need a lot of sugar that'll just burn off really, really quickly. And we learn from this as well, that we're all important to God, and God wants to save us all, even you, even me. Imagine that. You can walk on water, you can separate oceans, you can do everything and anything, and He does it all because He loves you and He loves me. Isn't that a great thought to go to sleep on? Good night, sleep well, see you next week.
Wonderful Lord, wonderful God, You are my shield, my protector. I can lie down, go off to sleep, knowing You're watching over me. Wonderful Lord, wonderful God, help me to trust You forever. I need not fear, 'cause You are near. I can lie down and sleep. Wonderful Lord, wonderful God, You are my shield, my protector. I can lie down, go off to sleep, knowing You're watching over me. Wonderful Lord, wonderful God, help me to trust You forever. I need not fear, 'cause You are near. I can lie down and sleep in peace. Wonderful God, You are my shield, my protector. I can lie down, go off to sleep, knowing You're watching over me. Wonderful Lord, wonderful God, help me to trust You forever. I need not fear, 'cause You are near. I can lie down and sleep in peace. Wonderful Lord, wonderful God, You are my shield, my protector. I can lie down, go off to sleep, knowing You're watching over me. Wonderful Lord, wonderful God, help me to trust You forever. I need not fear, 'cause You are near. I can lie down and sleep in peace.